Welcome back for our 8's Heroes today. We highlight the couple behind the nonprofit called Courts for Kids. Based in Vancouver, their work around the world puts courts in communities where they once had no place to play or gather for special events. Derek and Celine Neslin organize trips of mainly high schoolers who do what really can be some tough work for a couple of days, but for many, it turns out to be a real life-changing experience. So happy to have in studio today Derek and Celine Neslin. And you were telling me you've been doing this for about 10 years, Celine. 140 courts you've put in what kind of places?
Mainly Latin America, but really we're in 26 different countries. Southeast Asia, Africa, Latin America, South America. So yeah, it's really been quite the adventure.
Derek, how does the concept work? So do high schoolers do fundraising to be able to pay for these trips?
Yeah, and so we take high school groups, we take college groups, and yeah, we incorporate the travel costs, but we also incorporate the construction costs as well. So when students fundraise, they're buying literally cement bags, sand, gravel. The community is also fundraising, so it's a total partnership, and that's what makes it all happen.
Average cost being between $2,500, $3,000, so it is spendy. But again, many of the students doing the fundraising, you came to our attention last week because you had a group of students in the Dominican Republic and then became stranded, Celine, by the snowstorm.
Yeah, it was the adventure on top of the adventure. We already had this amazing experience. We built a court in the Dominican Republic for an orphanage there in Santiago. And unbeknownst to us, when we were traveling home, we got stuck in the bomb cyclone. And most of the students had donated their shoes and clothing and toiletries to leave at the orphanage. So we were stranded and unprepared for it.
Oh my goodness, talk about having to improvise. Here you are, sort of huddled in a hotel room, but they got out to experience some of the snow as well.
Yeah, they did in their flip-flops and shorts. We had a brief snowball fight before I ushered them back into the safety and the warmth of the hotel.
Yeah, Derek, it really speaks to being, having to be prepared for anything as an organization.
I was the smart one that stayed home.
You were on that one, huh? Tell me what you have happening going forward in terms of trips you're now recruiting kids for, Derek.
Yeah, so we're actively recruiting trips for 2018, and we're looking for students. Most people that want to travel want something very comfortable, luxurious, and where they can stay connected. We're looking for people that are looking for a completely opposite experience. So we are looking for students who are willing to just get out of their comfort zone and really connect with the community, because that's what it's all about. The communities are active participants, and you're signing up to be side by side with them, completing the project. So yeah, we're actively looking right now for people interested in signing up for that sort of experience.
Thailand, I saw you have a trip coming up in July.
And actually, it's a misconception that people think that we just take students, and that primarily is our bread and butter. But sometimes families get together, 4 families of 4. We do family trips. Employment groups like Kaiser Permanente does a trip with us every year. So really, it's anyone that's up for an adventure and who really cares about providing a safe place for kids to play sports, like in Thailand and Costa Rica and Panama and so many other places.
And you mentioned those courts really at the center of your nonprofit. And I think what impresses me is I think about it for sports, but it's so much more beyond that. We're talking community celebrations, stuff happening there every day.
Yeah, I mean, we're building in such remote places that this may be the only concrete surface they have. And so it's festivals, gathering, graduation, even earthquake evacuation zones our courts are being used for. Wow. It's much more than just sports, even though sports in and of itself is such a good reason.
And I'm sure anyone who goes on a trip comes back with a new appreciation of whatever space they're able to gather in. Thanks so much for joining us this afternoon. Really good work you're doing.
Thanks for having us.
Courts for Kids is the organization. More information about the upcoming trips at courtsforkids.org.